Tell me to get the hell out of the way. Leave the light. Shit.
Everybody did on TikTok. No. What we do that I have to break out.
That's what the rocking is all about.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the Fulton County Public Safety Training Center. I am Lieutenant Calloway, the class coordinator for BLE 2207. Thank you all for coming. Family and friends, we appreciate you. Thank you, Captain Shelton, Academy staff, and agency heads present here today. BLE 2207, on you.
BLE 2207, fight the pain, whatever we do, see it through. More time, more. Left, right, left, right, left. I joined the academy. Realized policing was the life for me. 30-25 is where I earned my right. To protect and serve the people while I stay in the fight. Smoke winds down my sword till my muscles apart. Rolling your rest back down in the South Shadow High. Skybox 2 will put the fear in my soul. You can bet the cast is coming if you're caught on your own. Range week E blocking how we survive.
Is how we survive.
The tools they had to teach us to keep us alive.
Was the tools they had to teach us to keep us alive.
Left,
Right,
left,
right,
left,
right.
left.
So smooth.
Left, right, left, right. Class, hold.
Good. Right, face. Take. Seat. Adjust.
Thank you. I would like to bring up the agency, the Academy Director, Captain Greg Shelton.
Good morning, everyone. That was a very impressive entrance, one of the best we've ever had, so great job, class. On behalf of the Academy staff, Academy Advisory Board, and Fulton County Police Chief, my boss, Chief Wade Yates, I'd like to welcome everyone to the graduation ceremony for Basic Law Enforcement Class 2207. We will begin our ceremony with the National Anthem being sung by Lieutenant Lattimore of the Fulton County Sheriff's Office and the colors being presented by the Fulton County Sheriff's Department Honor Guard. Everyone please stand.
Hey, attention! Present on!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner get wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order, on! Take, seat.
To the family and friends of Class 2207, you should be especially proud of their accomplishment here today. I know I am. I have immense respect and admiration for these recruits who are graduating here today. These men and women have decided to join law enforcement despite the current negative publicity and scrutiny facing law enforcement today. It takes a tremendous amount of dedication, commitment, and sacrifice to be a peace officer. This is a testament to the values and principles instilled in them by their families and friends. But we also know that during these 11 weeks that life does not stop. Bills still need to be paid. Children need to be taken care of. So thank you for encouraging and supporting them through these 11 weeks and for raising men and women of such fine character. Class 2207, give your family and friends a round of applause for their support. 11 weeks ago, y'all were all thrown together in a class, and just like other classes before you had your challenges. You've lost some people along the way, but those of you who are sitting here today have made it to the beginning of your training. I say the beginning because the real training starts when you leave here and enter field training. What you've done up to this point is to prepare your body and mind to handle what comes next. Your next step of training is going to be on the streets, in an uncontrolled environment, working with real equipment, real witnesses, and real bad guys. Today you have achieved a basic level of training. Continue to develop your skills as a peace officer by always seeking out new training. Never get into that mindset that I have enough training. I know in my 25 plus years of policing, training methods in some areas have changed a half a dozen times, and in some other areas more than that. No matter what you plan to specialize in, be it CID, a drug unit, a traffic unit, or SWAT, or if you want to spend your career on patrol, master that area. Do it for your department so you may better serve the people in your jurisdiction, but more importantly, do it for yourself so that you may be safer and more confident from this day forward. From this day forward, you will share a special bond with one another and every other law enforcement officer you encounter. Today you have become protectors of the peace and protectors of your fellow man and woman. It's no coincidence. Y'all been through defensive tactics in there, in the DT room, the warrior room. That one of my favorite quotes is on that wall. Everyone wants to be a lion until it comes time to do what lions do, right? Isaiah 6:8 tells us, "Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send? And who will go for us? And I said, here I am, send me." Best wishes to you, class 2207. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our guest speaker, Director Frank Mazzelli. He's the manager of the Fulton Industrial Community Improvement District. Since January 2013, Mr. Mazzelli has been employed by the Fulton Industrial Community Improvement District as the public safety manager. Since Mr. Mazzelli began his employment, he has built solid relationships between the CID, numerous Fulton County agencies, and the business community. Mr. Mazzelli has planned, implemented, and managed and budgeted a CID police patrol consisting of 20 Fulton County and City of South Fulton police officers in various ranks that has effectively reduced the crime. Mr. Mazzelli spent 30 years in law enforcement, serving approximately 27 of those years in the Drug Enforcement Administration or the DEA. While at the DEA, he served in a number of executive level positions, including Assistant Special Agent in Charge at the Atlanta Field Office. Mr. Mazzelli also served 3 years as a New York City police officer. During his government career, he has conducted a vast array of large-scale domestic and international investigations and managed numerous personnel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will help me welcome to the podium our guest speaker for today, Director Frank Mazzelli.
Thank you, Captain Shaw. Good morning, graduates, families, fellow law enforcement officers. It's my pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be invited to speak to you today on this special day. Before I begin, I would like to say Fulton County is very fortunate to have Captain Shelton at this academy. He's an experienced, competent law enforcement professional. I've been in many meetings with Captain Shelton. He's a true leader that always has given 100% to this academy, while he always credited its success to the staff. True leader, and hopefully that you pick up some of his leadership skills while you went through your academy. A little levity before we begin. What did the police find after dusting Chris Rock's face after the show? Fresh Prince. I had a bad joke. Graduates today finishes just one chapter in a long journey that probably started years ago. Most of you have been dreaming of becoming a law enforcement officer for a long time. I remember when I was a child and a teenager, all I wanted to watch on TV was police shows like Dragnet, Adam 12, Kojak, Hill Street Blues, etc. I bet most of you don't recognize these shows, because you weren't born when they aired. Well, anyhow, I took all this valuable TV training and led me to apply to the New York City Police Department. On January 2nd, 1983, I was sick at home with a 101-degree temperature on a snowy, cold New York night. I remember this night vividly because the following morning I was scheduled to report at 7:30 a.m. to a New York City-owned building in Lower Manhattan for admission into the NYPD Police Academy. We were told, if you don't show, don't bother calling us back. On January 3rd at 5 a.m., I woke up feeling slightly better. At that time, this event was the most important thing in my life. I was not going to miss it for a little illness. I arrived at the designated location at 6:30 a.m. and joined a long line of cadets outside the building. It had stopped snowing, but temperatures were now in the single digits and it was windy. I knew this would be the first test of many that I would soon face. I would not be denied this opportunity. They decided to open the doors at 8:30, 2 hours later after my arrival, where we received the NYPD Academy registration and orientation. On that day, I began my 30-year law enforcement career. On January the 9th, 1983, I graduated the academy and sat with my fellow classmates as you are today. During my 30-year career, I had the honor to serve with the New York City Police Department and then later the DEA. I've been blessed with many great assignments and many meaningful experience. I worked in many cities throughout this country and abroad. I had the privilege to work with excellent law enforcement officers, and I learned many things from them, and many of them are still my friends today. In fact, a few are in the audience. I felt that we did impact the illegal drug trade in a positive way. Despite what you may hear in the media about the drug war, in the late 90s, drug use in this country had dropped to 50% of the 1970 levels. However, in 2021, we lost 107,000 Americans due to drug overdose deaths. Think about that. It's more than twice the amount of people, soldiers that died in Vietnam in the 9-year war. What changed is the commitment of government to the drug war, not the dedication of law enforcement. My advice to you is to stay committed to your oath you take today, because the pendulum of public opinion always changes. Always remember what you do on the street can cause impact. Hopefully your actions will always be positive impact. There are fewer life experiences that can be more meaningful than saving lives. In July of 1983, I was assigned to a foot post, Fordham Road in the Bronx, when a young frantic mother, carrying her 2-year-old, ran up to me. Her 2-year-old was not breathing. Fresh out of the academy, I found and removed an obstruction from the child's airway and applied CPR. That child quickly recovered, and I was thanked by the tearful mother. I often wonder what happened to that 2-year-old. Now she would be 41 years of age. How did I impact the world by saving that child from choking that day? Is she a mother? Is she a community leader? Is she a physician? Or was she a police officer? I'll never know. All I know that on that day, I was a world to that young mother. But it was all part of doing the job. You're going to come into instances like that where it's only part of the job. You're going to do some very special things. And you're going to talk to your family members. And you're going to say, you can't make this stuff up that I saw today. It's true. This is the most special job you're going to have, either if you're working in a jail or in the streets. I also recall a magic bullet that saved 4 lives. It's a little complicated, so you got to pay attention. I was assigned to a DEA group in Miami, Florida. It was March 12, 1987. It was Thursday. It was 7:10 p.m. I was reaching the door with several DEA agents, and the defendant raised a Colt 45 semi-automatic. 2 rounds were fired. My partner went down, lying helplessly on the floor. I returned fire, hitting the assailant in the neck. Thankfully, my partner was not hurt, but my reaction probably saved his life. The evening of March the 12th and March the 13th, I was consumed by interviews for DEA, General Affairs, and then homicide detectives. I was under a lot of stress, to say the least. My supervisor told me to take off Monday and relax. So on that Monday, then my pregnant wife and my 3-year-old son and I went to the beach to relax. The surf was rough that day, so we decided to stay in the sand. 15 minutes into my relaxation, I noticed an elderly couple drowning in the riptide. I immediately dove into the ocean, swimming out to the couple. I rescued a woman. I swam back to get the male. By the time I reached him, I was out of breath. So I kept him afloat until lifeguards could pull us to safety. Officially, I was not working that day. However, I knew that it was my duty to act as if I was on duty. You see, from this day forward, graduates, you will always be on duty. You have to understand that. This is not a job, this is a career. Years later, I spoke to my former partner whose life I saved on March the 12th evening. He was retired, living in Montana, was a volunteer fireman. My partner told me he donated his kidney to his fire chief, who was having renal failure, saving the chief's life. After hanging up the phone, I realized that if I didn't fire that round that struck the defendant, then my partner might have died that night. If I was not given the day off for that post-traumatic stress from the shooting, that elderly couple probably would have drowned. If my partner was not saved on that March 12th evening, then he could not have donated his kidney to save that fire chief's life. That's 4 lives saved with 1 round of fire. That's impact. So the point is, when you're on the street or at the beach, what you do really matters from this point on, because it's a ripple effect. The person you pull out of a car who's just been in an accident, you call for an ambulance, that ambulance comes, that person is saved. Or you're in the middle of a domestic dispute and you mediate it. On this day, graduates, you are Georgia Post certified enforcement officers. You have received excellent training at the Cook County Public Safety Training Center. I am familiar with the training you received because I'm on the advisory board. However, your training will continue with a field training officer, and you will apply some of this training to a dose of reality. I advise you to seek training out when it's available throughout your career. It will only make you a better law enforcement officer and more valuable to your community. Prior to becoming the 26th United States President, Teddy Roosevelt served as New York City Police's Commissioner. Commissioner Roosevelt said, "The best police officers are constantly learning and improving themselves. They challenge themselves to be better today than they were yesterday, gathering the experience and applying its lessons as they continue through their careers." I would like you to ponder these thoughts before you begin your career. I didn't invent these, but I totally agree with you. By acting as a true public servant while on patrol, you can positively affect the entire community. Your common sense advice in a domestic dispute case may save a marriage, a child's life, or a child's future. Believe me, you will be responding to many domestic disputes. This applies to the deputies as well. I am sure there will be many disputes among prisoners when deputies will have to mediate. Your discretion during a citizen encounter may change the way a future community leader, a parent, or a member of the immediate procedure and your department. How you choose words speaking to a mother or a father may affect future perspectives of nearby children. Always act professionally. You don't know the ripple effect you're causing when you're dealing with people. How your ability to de-escalate a volatile circumstance by using your head and your words could save both lives and property. There will be many volatile situations you will encounter in the street and in jail. Much has changed over the years. I can attest, when I started my career, I used typewriters, pay phones, carried revolvers, and worked with departments that had no lockup. I don't think you're going to encounter much of that today. While many things have changed over the past 39 years, many things have not. I would like to offer you several observations that have stood the test of time, and they may be of value to you in your journey through your law enforcement career. Conduct yourself with honor. Your integrity is the most important possession you have. No one can take your integrity away from you. However, you can give it away, and it'll never come back. This will be a daily test. Throughout your career, you'll be faced with choices. Some are clear, others not so clear. You'll be required to make split-second decisions and be right all the time. Think about this. A major league hitter must decide whether to swing at a fastball in a split second. If he gets 3 hits out of 10 consistently through his career, he bats 300. He probably winds up in Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. You will be required to bat 1,000 because your life or someone else's life may depend on it. There will always be Monday morning quarterbacks questioning your actions. Don't do anything that will embarrass yourself, your family, or your department. And certainly, don't do anything negative that's going to put you on the front page of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Always act in good faith according to the law. Have a purpose-driven career. Know what's important in the leadership of your agency and your community. Put yourself to work in those efforts. As your career grows, you will be prepared when an opportunity comes about. Prepare yourself for the next opportunity. If you don't have a college degree, get one. Remember, leaders are lifelong learners. Education does not make an ideal law enforcement officer, but it makes any law enforcement officer better. Remember that you work for the people, and you are trusted with much responsibility. As a law enforcement officer, you will always have the power of arrest, taking freedom away from citizens in a free nation. You will have the power to use deadly force, which includes not only the use of firearms, but also vehicles. Drive with great discretion. Be victim-focused. Don't lose sight of the fact that it's all about maintaining public safety and ensuring that victims are the center of your efforts. Take the time and effort to solve crimes, care for victims, have compassion for all that are affected by crimes. Treat these victims as you would like to be treated, or a family member would like to be treated. Surround yourself with positive thinking people of excellence. If you wish to be a problem-solving, innovative officer, surround yourself with people with like-minded goals. Seek out a wise mentor. The advice of wise counsel can be priceless. Very few problems or situations in your career will be unique to you. The advice of an experienced law enforcement officer is important when trying to avoid making the same predictable mistakes others have made. Learn from the success and mistakes of others. To this day, I seek advice from my wise counsel, and he of me. This is over 35 years. They'll call me up and ask me questions, and I do the same. Because I trust it, and he trusts me. So find someone like that in your journey. Take your time to be sure your reports are accurate. If it's not your report, then most will assume that it really didn't happen. So make sure your reports are complete with important information. So when you go to court, That's what you're gonna be looking at. And if you didn't put something that was very important in that report, they're gonna say, well, he's probably making it up, or she's making it up. Please listen carefully to the last 2 points. If you take anything away from this speech today, remember these 2 things. Never overlook or take for granted your family. They will be there in the best of times and the worst. This applies to your law enforcement family as well. I graduated from the police academy 39 years ago. I remember only one thing. My family was there watching. So keep them in mind when you're out there. Don't let the job consume your life or you forget about your family. Be careful. We live in dangerous times. I don't think I have to tell you, all you got to do is look at the television. Make sure you get home safely every night. I'll repeat this. Make sure you get home safely every night. Graduates, it's been an honor to be able to speak to you today. I wish you and your family well. Stay safe. Congratulations on this wonderful accomplishment. Welcome to the law enforcement family.
We have a small token of our appreciation to give to Mr. Mazzelli this morning. It reads, in appreciation to Director Frank J. Mazzelli, Public Safety Manager, Fulton Industrial Boulevard Improvement District, for your dedication and support of the Fulton County Public Safety Training Center, members of the staff, myself. Each class, each class has, that graduates from this academy is assigned a coordinator. A coordinator, if you have come to these graduations with any kind of regularity, y'all know that the class coordinator holds a very special place with me because that's where I started out when I first come out here. It's a very demanding job to do, and it's an even tougher job to do well. It's very rare in our profession. Mr. Mazzelli kind of spoke of, having that ripple effect and your actions as police officers and peace officers and deputy sheriffs of how they're going to affect other people. And he had said that he wondered what happened to these people and all this stuff. It's very rare that we get to see fruits of our labor, whether it's, like I said, a case that we worked, or in my case, out here, the officers that I've had the pleasure of training. So many of them get, once they leave here, the vast majority of them, we don't get to see them. Very little or none. And this class's coordinator is an exception to this. I had the distinct pleasure of her being in one of my classes when I was a coordinator. She's another one of mine that I trained, so however good y'all are, I take full credit for that. All right? I'm not afraid to do that. I got to see how she was, as a student, and y'all don't know this about your coordinator, but she can get out of a car really, really fast when there's a mouse inside it. We used to leave our EVOC cars outside, that's where we stored them, and a mouse had gotten into it, and we were getting ready to do EVOC, and the cars were all lined up, and I was giving the radio check, and that one right there come out of that car so fast, just knew that mouse was all in her hair. That's one of my biggest memories of her and her experience in class. But I got to see her. I was very lucky to see her go out and come back, and every now and then she'd have an extra stripe on her sleeve. I got to see her make sergeant, made lieutenant, and she was assigned out here. I was very excited when that happened. And then she come to me and was begging me and begged her chain of command to take on the task of being a mandate coordinator, because she credited me with the impact that I had on her, and she wanted to have that same impact as well. And it's a blessing to see someone, like I said, the fruits of my labor come back and do the job that I did, and from what I've seen, have done it very well. Y'all are a reflection of the job that she's done. Now I've got nothing but good reports all the way around, so I'm so very proud of this class coordinator. So without further ado, the class coordinator for 2207 is Lieutenant Pernisha Callaway.
Good morning again. Thank you, Sheriff Abide, Lieutenant Colonel Frazier, Captain Greg Shelton, for your excellent leadership. It is the only reason we are as great as we are today. BLE 2207. One word comes to mind when I think of this journey we have completed, and that's gratitude. As we started each day of the first week, giving one gratitude per day, I am truly grateful to stand before you and see you matriculated this far. Thank you for trusting me along this life experience during this season in your lives. Thank you for trusting my leadership and my knowledge to get you to the finish line. Thank you for never giving up on yourselves and me, regardless of the countless trips to Skybox 2, the 2-a-days, sometimes 3-a-days, and the infamous Freedom Fridays. You've taught me to see each and every one of you as the person first and the officer second. You've also taught me that my leadership may be firm, but it comes from a place of love and sincerity to push you to be the best version of yourself. This class has truly redefined the word resiliency for me. No matter how hard the days may seem, you push through with gratitude for the person behind you, in front of you, ensuring that you will make it through. The bonds you've built may last a lifetime. Cherish and embrace them. You have gained 21 brothers and sisters in blue. They will see you through this law enforcement experience. Remember, you are only as good in this profession and to the citizens you serve as you are to yourself. Take care of you, always be aware of you, and love on those that love you. To my class co-coordinator, I couldn't have done it without you. The many nights, early mornings of call, he was always there to assist me. Thank you, Lieutenant Pace. To the Academy staff, I appreciate you. Couldn't have got this far without your motivation and your support. Thank you. To my other half, thank you so much for listening, loving on me, and encouraging me to get to this day. I love you. To my family, thank you for your unwavering support and motivation through anything I take on in this law enforcement career. Thank you. To my friends, thank you for holding me down, keeping me sane. I love you. BLE 2207, one last time. Hold on, back. I don't need it, thank you. Now we will start the presentation class awards. Every class chooses a class sergeant and a class corporal. This class chose class sergeant, Sergeant Christopher Worthy, class corporal, Emma Bach-Ages. Would you please come forward?
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Emma Bach-Ages. I am BLE 2207's class corporal. For a few, this is just another leg in their law enforcement journey. For some, this has always been a calling. Personally, having a career as a police officer has always been a dream of mine, but little did I know what basic mandate had waiting for me. The moment I knew I was in for a crazy ride was when I had no clue what a side straddle hop was. If you're wondering, it's a jumping jack, but somehow much, much worse. I can confidently say I've never been so tired and sore in my entire life. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say that if I never hear Skybox 2 again, I will sleep very, very well at night. Lieutenant Calloway, I would like to thank you for that. I can say for certain that our class has the mental fortitude to make it through any situation. We have pushed our bodies to the limits and overcome some of our hardest mental tests. For instance, range week was stressful and officer survival showed us areas where we needed to grow. I hope these lessons have imprinted on each of us. Please remember what it felt like and how you overcame it. It might save you or someone else one day. Friends and family, thank you so much for joining us here today to witness the beginning of our new careers. A huge thank you to our significant others and close friends for standing by us through these 11 weeks. I know it has been hard to have us gone and out of reach for most of the day, but trust me, it was not easy for us. Lieutenant Calloway, special thank you to you for sticking by us every week, even though we definitely gave you gray hair. I promise you, you have impacted us more than you know. You will forever be our smoke queen. I'm very excited to see what the future holds. I wish the best for all of you in your careers. I leave you with this. Cherish the friendships you make along the way. No call is ever going to be the same. Take criticism in stride. And it's okay to feel fear. Just know how to use it to your advantage. Congratulations, guys. We made it.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to give a special thank you to the Fulton County Public Safety Training Center, our class coordinator, Lieutenant Tarnesia Calloway, and all those who made it here safely to celebrate the graduating class at BLE 2207. I would also like to acknowledge the devoted family members and friends who made this day possible. Because without your unwavering support, none of this would be achievable. Therefore, we are thankful and much obliged to have had you in our corners through this entire process. This day, which is a memorable occasion for the class of BLE 2207. 11 weeks ago, 22 courageous individuals chose to embark on a journey that very few men and women would rarely consider. Over the past 11 weeks, we've been tested, tried, and pushed to our absolute limit, both mentally and physically. No matter the obstacles or hindrances placed within our path, we continue to persevere through our journey, which led to this very day. There's an old saying that states, nothing worth having is easy to get. The hard-fought battles, the goals won with sacrifice are the ones that matter. The class and I can attest that nothing was given, nor did anything come easy during our time at Fulton County Public Safety Training Center. BLE 2207 started as one large dysfunctional family, but our fierce leader, Lieutenant Calloway, ensured to direct us. Lieutenant Calloway discovered that thrill-a-days associated with an unlimited number of side straddle hops, aka jumping jacks, push-ups, burpees, and remaining at front leaning rest for several minutes at a time would do the trick. Boy, was she correct. Because the discomfort of being drenched in your own sweat, along with every muscle in your body aching and throbbing, compelled us to become one big happy family. I would like to say that I'm extremely proud of my brothers and sisters that sit before us today. We fought the good fight and finished the race, which earned us our rightful spots here today. May God direct our paths and guide our steps and allow us to cherish this moment forever. Thank you.
Captain Sheriff, will you come on? On behalf of Class BLE 2207, we would like to present you with our class play. The Leadership Award, presented to Class Corporal Emma Bach-Ages. Thank you for your leadership shown to Basic Law Enforcement Class 2207 by the staff of the Fulton County Public Safety Training Center, October 22nd to October 21st, 2022. Thank you. Leadership Awards presented to the Class Sergeant, Christopher D. Worthy. Thanks for your leadership shown to Basic Law Enforcement Class 2207 by the staff of the Fulton County Public Safety Training Center on October 21st, 2022. Now what you all been waiting for. During these 11 weeks, each student had to participate in several monumental courses and weeks of training. The EVOC course, that is a driving course that teaches officers how to drive defensively during high-speed chases and other maneuvers that are pivotal to their safety operation of a law enforcement vehicle. Several students participated in a trophy round, per se, of the fastest driving time on a precision cone course. Our top our top driver award goes to Derek Lester, Martin. Our next award is Top Shooter. Top Shooter Award goes to the student that has the top shooting score. All of those that participated in the Top Shooter round, please stand. These officers showed extreme precision with use of a firearm. Our Top Shooter Award goes to Derek Lester, Martin. Our final award is the Top Academic Award. During the course of 11 weeks, the students here take a total of 15 exams. They are scored and graded, and the top average receives an award. The Top Academic Award goes to Derek Lester. By the way, that was the first time we picked two to receive the top academic. They were neck and neck, exact same point averages. At this time, we will do the presentation of diplomas.
First row, attention. Left face.
Janquilla Bernice Stewart. Would all my agency heads please come forward and sign? Onella Peters. Elizabeth Marie Gonzalez Davenport.
Left foot.
Brandon Amir Matthews. Sakat Das. Mark Donald Etienne.
First row. Right face.
Christopher O'Brien Ritchie.
Third row, attention. Left face.
Adrian Ibanez. Stephen Cornelius Adams. Angel Gutierrez Hernandez. Bridget Simone Perry. Chastity Lachelle Moody.
Attention. Right face. Left face.
Jerry Stephen Taylor III. Derek Deontay Lester. Jabari J. Hester. Leonard Edmund Gaffney. Devin Theo Palmer.
Third row.
David
Face.
Jordan Todd. Emma Jewels Peters. Emma Elizabeth Bockages. Christopher Deshaun Worthy.
For growth, right first. Take seat.
Thank you.
Take seat.
You all can take your seats. BLE 2207, one last time.
Pledge attention. BLE 2207, fight the pain. Whatever we do, see it through.
Dismiss.
What's going on? You know you had to come. I know you had to come.